Come on. Good evening, everyone. Hope you are doing well. It's good to be back here at the Magical Coffee Hour. It has been a pretty good week for me overall. Hope you guys have been doing well. We are officially here in 2024. It feels a little weird to be here, but here we are. Um, I'm tired. It's been a long weekend. But that's okay. We're good to go. Mortal, good to see you. Jade, good to see you. And hope you're feeling better, Cher. Blue Star, welcome. Good to see you. Dragon of the West, welcome. Good to see you. All right. If you are here, be sure to give us a thumbs up. It absolutely helps with that whole algorithm monster and the way YouTube functions, and more people can find the channel. The channel gets put in front of more people, all that wonderful stuff. So we'd appreciate it if you give the thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you're notified anytime we go live, which is going to be important, by the way, or we release a new video. We try to release videos every Tuesday. I've been asked when videos are. We usually do Tuesday. That's our standard weekly video day, and we try to stick to that. As well as we have the Sunday live streams here. So, yay. Also, everyone, we do have a locals community. If you go to workingdragonmystic.com, you can find it. Over there, you can support us. And we are trying to get to a completely community-funded position, so we don't have to worry about monetization, all those lovely things. And over there, it allows us to go into topics that we can't go into anywhere else. It allows us to talk about things. So there's going to be a lot of supporter-only content over there. And we're adding a lot of new stuff this coming year. Currently, there are supporter-only live streams. There are also supporter-only videos that are being uploaded. We're looking at doing supporter-only hangouts. Like Zoom style hangouts, not necessarily taught or teaching anything, just hanging out and talking. Get to see the not professional side of Drake, I guess, maybe. But we are also going to be doing some workshops where we're going to be teaching some information, and you can think of them kind of sort of small classes. Those will be supporter only workshops, and supporters are able to get into those workshops for free. So your monthly support over at Locals would get you into any and all those workshops, as well as the replays, because they will be live. They will be taught, so we can get that back and forth, that Q&A. But they will also have a replay, so even if you miss it, you still get to take part or watch the workshop. So consider going over there to support us. Again, you can find it at workingdragonmystic.com. That's our landing site for everything. So there we go. Got that stuff out of the way while people were logging in. GK, good to see you. Cookie, good to see you. Karma, good to see you. David, welcome. Smith, hey. And Vicky. All right, we got a full house in here tonight. So hopefully everyone had a wonderful holiday. I actually did. I can honestly say I got everything I wanted for the holidays, if that's the thing, and because that was mostly I wanted to be left alone in peace. I got that. So yay. That being said, I am revving up and getting ready for the camping season to get outdoors. Many of you know I'm looking at filming the Norse course hopefully this year, and some of those shots are going to be outside. So I'm going to be not only camping for me, but also for those particular things. And I'm prepping for all the overnights that I'm going to have to do out there, and I'm enjoying it. I really am. There's just something about the excitement of the outdoors, even just getting equipment ready. I kind of get giddy like a little kid, if you will. So you know how that goes. Let's see. Beyond that, the reason I said more on the live thing, we are actually going to try something this year. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about the mindset, the philosophy, and even how to meditate on certain things in some videos that we plan to do this year. Okay. And I'm actually going to be, I've actually, did I post that? I think I posted it in the community tab. But those videos aren't going to be pre-recorded videos. I'm actually going to be going live for the Tuesday video for these topics where we're going to discuss these things and how I handle them in my personal life, how I use them, how I meditate on them. Because by going live, first off, it's going to give anyone who shows up the ability to ask questions that I might be able to answer during it, which is something I can't do with a pre-recorded video. But it's also going to let me to kind of troubleshoot perhaps a meditation practice, because we're not just going to talk about a topic like character or ethics or wisdom or something like that, because everyone does that. We're not just going to talk about that. I'm literally going to walk you all through how I view these terms, how I view these concepts, how I view these philosophies, and how I meditate on them in my life and apply them, so that you as an individual can look at it, go and meditate and figure out what it means for you and your path. It's not a one size fits all thing, but by being able to answer these questions, I think we'll be able to really help a lot of people there. And this really builds into that self mastery, self empowerment side of the mage. And it's one of those things that once you get your focus and your mind, it helps with your discipline. All those things snowball into empower your magic and make it stronger, and make you a better mage overall. So keep an eye out. We are looking at, when we do those videos, since people work and it's a Tuesday, I probably won't be starting those videos until about the same time we do the live streams here, which let me think, that's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that should give people time to get off work, maybe even listen to it on the drive or something. So we got a lot of cool stuff planned for this year. We really do. We got some stuff rolling in here. Halloween, good to see you. Glad you can make it. And yeah, get those likes up there. We got 21 people and 10 likes. Come on, people. I'm not that ugly. Give me a thumbs up. Let's see. Dragon of the West. Hey, Drake, what are your thoughts about using magic on passing exams and learning subjects in a limited time? I got no problem with it. If you have a spell or whatnot that to utilize, use it. I've used it that way. In fact, I think in the last live stream, someone asked about a spell on memory retention and recall, which we discussed how to set those up. And in fact, Tuesday's video is actually going to be the clip of that. So watch Tuesday's video. You'll get the how that was done, because it was one of those responses. It just made sense. And at the first of the year, trying to get everything ironed out, it was a perfect video for people going back to school. So we just cut the clip out and put it in there, so you don't have to search through the live stream fully. Chad, good to see you. Rick, good to see you. Vicky, Drake, would you mind telling us one experience with the dragons you cannot explain and what made you believe they are real? I'm curious. Yeah. Actually, I've told this before, but it's one that when you say what convinced me they were real, when you say I can't explain it, it always comes back to one event. And that was, I was working at UPS. It was in the freight facility. So it's a secure location. You have to have ID. You got to go through metal detectors. You're not getting in there without them knowing who you are. Because it was on airport property and all that good stuff. And it was a good job. I liked it. Had a lot of fun doing it. But I was coming off break and I bumped into this guy. And this guy was, he's like, hey, you got dragons around you. I was like, what? Huh? No, you're a loon. And I was like, what are you talking about? And at this time, I was studying different alternate religions and philosophies and stuff like that. At Wicca was kind of the one that I think at that point I was actually technically considered Wiccan at that time. And he was like, yeah, have you ever heard of dragon magic? Like, nope, never heard of it. And in truth, to be honest with you, I was avoiding anything with the word dragon in it at that time because of how cliche and just dorky it most of it seemed at the time. In truth, and he's like, yeah. He's like, you should check out these books by this author, DJ Conway. She talks a little bit about dragon magic, and she's really the only author currently doing it. It's not the best work, but it'll get a foundation of what dragons are about balance and and as someone who has that warrior essence to you, which surprised me. He's like, I think it would really benefit you. So just consider giving them a look. I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Whatever. And I went off to go back to work because I didn't have time to sit and ask too many questions, right? So when I got back to where I was working, a buddy of mine who, honestly, he'd been practicing Wicca for a long time. I ran it by him to see if he'd ever heard of this, and he's like, I ain't never heard of that. He's like, who? He says, I who brought that up? He's like, I think I know most of the Wiccans in this warehouse. And I was like, well, he said he works down on Mod C. And I described him. He's like, I don't know this guy. He's like, but my wife works down there. Let's go down there and find him. So at the end of our shift, we went down there and we talked to his wife. She didn't know him. We talked to the mod manager, the guy who literally has all the employees down there. Nobody. Well, when you now are talking about a person who's supposed to be a place and no one knows about them and you're on airport property, now security gets involved. So we get dragged up to the security room. They rewind the film. They find where I'm at the break room. And this is when it just went bleh. Because on this film, you see me standing there. You see me talking to nothing, no one, not a zip. There's nothing there. But the creepier part, you see people coming in and out of the break room and they're walking around the person. They are literally walking around and avoiding the person I'm talking to, even though that person's not on the camera. That moment, because I had pretty much already decided I wasn't going to actually look up those books. Okay. I had decided that. However, when I saw that security footage and I saw people avoiding something and it's not on the camera, and they even asked a few of the people could describe the same person I saw. So people were walking around something. I decided to go get the books, and I did. And that's honestly what got me started. And that is to this day, hands down, the most unexplained. What the absolute hell was that I have? And it started at the beginning. Hope that helps. Let's see. Okay, we got down here further as I was rambling on. Sorry about that. Are you knowledgeable about angel/angelic magic? I work with angels quite a bit, so it depends on what you mean. There are certain traditions that people call angelic magic that I've worked in, but I wouldn't call myself knowledgeable. Like, I've worked with Enochian magic, but I have not worked with it enough that I have taken it to memory. I would entirely have to pull notes and everything to even attempt to go into it. But working with angels themselves, yes. There's a lot of systems and traditions that people want to put up there as strictly an angelic system. I have never encountered one that includes Enochian. That is strictly the one system of angels. So it would depend on what you mean in there. And as far as working with angels, we just started an angel series. And the first video is up. I think we only have one of the angels up so far, but we're going to be going through 72 different angels in that one series. Whoa. See. Drake. No, he actually just that at the time, because this was like years and years and years ago. And honestly, the only book there was at the time was Conway's. So no, and weirdly, there's not been a lot of good resources. You all know, like I constantly waste money buying books looking for a good resource, and in truth, I have not found any good resources. And that's one of the reasons, like I was so dead set on sharing the information that the dragons have taught me, was to create a resource. It kind of irks me because I would love to find other content and resources to read myself and to be able to share with you all. I'm we actually, like, it's tax season, so we're calculating up stuff. So I've had all the expense folders open and stuff like that. And I looked at how many books claiming to be a resource on Dragon Magic or the like. Since starting this channel, we've spent well over $500 on so-called dragon resource books. And I don't think a single one of them I would recommend. Weirdly enough, it's that bad. Oh yeah, he was totally a spirit. There was no one there. If there was a person there, they'd be on the security camera. That's a heck of a moment. To this day, it baffles me. Obviously, because you asked the question, and I was like, oh yeah, that is definitely the one. Let's see. I'm an aspiring Enochian magician, but the requirements are insane if you want pure Enochian experience rather than the watered down hermetic tradition of Enochian magic. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And honestly, I've seen great results on both sides of that spectrum. Yeah, Enochian, I'll be honest with you, it's a system that I can get equal to or better results in more simplistic ways. This is something me and a few Enochian magicians I know who have been practicing for 75 years, that we've gone back and forth on, and they love it. They absolutely love the process and the work. And they admit that if they didn't enjoy the work, they wouldn't do it. So, I mean, you got to go with what's your cup of tea. And it's not easy. It's a very hard, complex system. And there is a lot of prep work. And there are people who will tell you it can go sideways if not done correctly. I've asked my friends about that. They said it depends on what you mean by sideways, because they have had rituals and workings get out of hand if certain things weren't done. That being said, though, they've also experimented with the simpler systems and they work just fine. So they're of a mind that what's going wrong is an energetic malfunction on the magician's end. It's not necessarily that the ritual or operation was shifted, or something was put down incorrectly, which created an energetic. So, you got to be careful, but it's one of those things. You got to be careful with any magic, I would say. There's some. Well, you can't obscure those cameras for one with the particular type of cameras there are. So yeah, and then there's people who it's not even just obscuring the camera, because there's people like where the break room was is the main drag area where the freight's being moved, and so we was able to talk with all the freight drivers. And the drivers who weren't directly interacting in that area, they saw no one. There was no one there for them either. So it was only affecting the people at the break room, which was kind of cool. So, I mean, I can't explain it. Like, I've gone through it with a fine tooth comb as someone who used to do security work and everything, and we cannot replicate that. So, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people who will say there's got to be an explanation for it. And if a person wants to disbelieve something, they're going to do everything they can to choose to disbelieve it. I take the evidence as it is. And yes, I spent well over 2 years trying to debunk it. I can't. And even the security team, I still know those guys. They've looked it over and over and can't debunk it. I knew the maintenance guy that was there that night. He's looked over the scenario. He can't figure it out. So, I mean, it's just one of those things. Da, 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 da. Okay. Whoa, we jumped. Let's see. What is this? Boy, Matt, like I asked help to another angel and asked him to overtake the influence of that other angel. Would that be an issue? Hold on. I missed something there. Where does that start? Is this up here basically? I asked to the wrong angel for help in a situation I need help with. Are there any safe ways to dismiss the possibly influence the situation? Can a conflict of interest occur? Okay, first off, your first mistake is thinking that they're limited to only the bullet points for which they're known for. They're not. They can work very much outside that premise. So technically, as far as wrong angel, that would be a falsehood and a limitation of human understanding, because we like to try and put entities in little tiny boxes that they're not limited to. Secondly, if you wanted to get that angel to no longer help, outside very, very few and specific ones, which I don't think are recorded in most books, the angel would be able to be recalled very easily. You could just tell it, you know what, I no longer need your help. That's if you want to. Honestly, if you found an angel whose specialty, if you will, is in that exact area, you could also ask that angel straight up, would you also help with this particular thing? And now you have two angels helping with that particular thing. Is it better to apply them in different ways? Yes. I would contact the first one and ask them, like, hey, I'm okay with you continuing to help, but I was wanting to contact this angel and get them to help too. You're free to stop working on this project or continue. Give them a heads up. Handle it that way. That's not going to cause this energetic backlash. It's not like you don't think if you don't think the first angel can do it and you just send the second angel out to do it, that could piss off the first angel, in which case they may or may not choose to work with you in the future. But if you're honest with them and give them a heads up, or even ask them to stop what they're doing, then you avoid all that. It's not that difficult. And you would recall them the same way you sent them. I mean, whatever working you did to contact them and say, hey, help, you would do the same thing and just communicate the new situation or tell them to stop helping. Either way. Did you ever ask the dragons if? Yes, actually, I did. I did actually find out at one point in time that it was actually the dragons who sent that particular individual. I think it was after the last time I told that story on this channel. Actually, I actually remembered because I had a ritual with the rulers coming up, and I was able to confirm that the dragons had a claw in that particular thing. Have you ever heard of Damien Accoles or his channel? Not ringing a bell. So if I have, I don't remember them. So I'd say I'm going to say no. Honestly, I'll be truthful. There's not a lot of YouTubers I follow anymore in the occult sector. There's really not. Every time I get sent to one, it's a lot of the ones people have sent me to are so cringeworthy. I can't even stand them. But I'm always looking for them because, like, all the channels I used to love have left YouTube. They really have. And I can't even blame them because of the way certain things have changed, the way the communities have changed. Some of them, their lives went different directions, in fact. And I got no ill will toward that. I mean, I loved their content. I'm grateful for the content they created. Some of them passed away, in fact. That was heartbreaking too. But it's one of those things where I personally have not found any occult YouTube channels that I just follow anymore. They're not there. I'm always looking, so I will probably check this person out. If you recommend them, if not, I'll not waste my time. But yeah, I mean, I actually don't follow too many occult YouTubers anymore. Most of the occultists I talk to these days are pretty much in person or over video chat. They're people I know. It's gotten such a big pool that instead of people, like there was a time where YouTube, someone could only get on YouTube and really get their videos out into there if they actually knew what they were talking about. Now everybody and their grandmother's creating just random ass shit trying to get rich. And that's made for a really watered down community. And I don't know, we're just not seeing the quality ones out there. And against those restrictions on speech, what you can and can't pull off. So, I mean, heck, even on this channel, you guys know there's a lot of things I avoid talking about because of those. And it's, you know, I do the best I can. I'm basically still here because I do believe there's a value to sharing this information and having these conversations. Beyond that, we'll just see where the future goes. Oh, we jumped again. Let's see. No worries. How about you? Thanks for your shared knowledge. No problem. I do the best I can with what I can. I really do. I by no means I refuse to use the term master. I refuse to let people use it to describe me. Even out of respect, I refuse it because I am a big believer in anyone who is willing to take the title of master or claim mastery over the occult. That's probably the first person you should avoid because there's not a human alive that's mastered any side of the occult. We're all still learning. We're all still growing. Hell, the gods themselves are still learning and growing. Put that in your hat and let that marinate for a moment. So, yeah. And if what I can share will help someone, that's great. And honestly, I get emails all the time from what I've shared has helped. So that's why I do it, because it don't pay. Awesome. Actually, really enjoy trying to take it slow, work within the season of rest. How about you? Doing pretty good. I would say my season of rest is over, though. New year, new everything starts up here. Let's see. Yes. Please keep conversations of substances on the live stream, please. Does the figure of Lilith interest you? I mean, I've worked with Lilith in the past. She's one of the entities that agreed to be in the evocation course. I adore working with Lilith. She's not an entity I would say is a primary, there's certain entities that I work with on the regular, whether it be monthly or even weekly. Lilith doesn't really fall into that category, but Lilith is a entity I have worked with quite a bit. In fact, she was one of the primary entities I worked with through the Cliff-Off when I worked through it. And I enjoyed working with her. I really did. I found her very, very interesting. She was not what I expected, though. I can give you that much, because a lot of the people try to paint her as a man-hating witch, and most of these modern political ideals that they try to force onto Lilith just weren't there. But I absolutely adored her. But without going into politics, that's as close as I can get there. Hey, thank you for the super chat, mate. Appreciate it. Speaking of which, if you all, if your question's getting lost, it's important you can use the super chats. It'll flash up big. Or if you just want to donate and support the channel. Also, any super chat with or without question, $5 or more is entered into spell working that I do on Mondays for prosperity, well-being, and joy. Or happiness, whatever you want to call it. I was probably supposed to say that toward the beginning. We're 30 minutes in. I'm just now remembering. My apologies. How do you feel 2024 is going to go for good old USA? Oh, that's a little political, Brendan. That would be a question that I could answer in the supporter only live stream. But there's way too many things juggling in the air for me to answer that without YouTube flagging me. I'll give you, I think it's going to be a very interesting ride. It might be a bumpy ride. I don't really know whether it's going to tip favorably or ill favorably, but there's a lot of things in there that I have spent a lot of time meditating about, talking with others about, confiding with others about, and that would be a good topic for the supporter only live streams, because that we don't do politics here. And that is unfortunately very politically fueled. And I love this country and everything she stands for. And we got to get out of this divide and get united. We got to take up that united part of our name again. Let's see. Greetings. Is it important to keep rituals and general magic in one's native language? I love English, but I'm from Germany. Thanks. No, you can use whichever language you want. The language actually doesn't really do a whole lot for the magic. So if you're watching my content and you can understand English, but you prefer to do your rituals in German, get to it. Do it in German. I've got friends from different cultures, different language backgrounds. I got friends who are multilingual. I got friends who are like speak 5-6 languages fluently. I don't know how she does it, but they get the same results regardless of language. So if you want to do them in German, go right ahead. That is fine. I personally only speak English, Southern, and sarcasm and asshole. That's the only languages I speak. I have attempted to learn German, though I still end up speaking like I hang out in Louisiana a lot around Cajun. So, and my wife took French in high school, so I hear certain words that I didn't realize were French, but that's where it came from, is French. But I don't really speak any real languages. I want to learn German, ironically. That is one of the languages I'd like to learn. So, yeah, by all means, go ahead and you can say it in German if you want. Because I've been asked to translate them, and it's like I can't translate it because I don't speak it. I'm not fluent, people. I clicked the little translation tab for like YouTube if they wanted to translate it, they're allowed. So that the subtitles would be translated. I don't know if it actually does it or not. So there we go. Great question, though. Great question. Your video on astral travel blew my mind. I've been looking for visuals for a very long time, but I was not getting them until I followed your astral sanctum video. I was appalled by how easy it was. Don't be appalled. Celebrate. Grab a cup of coffee. Have yourself a hootenanny. That's one of the things I keep saying. A lot of people try to make the esoteric and the occult practices so mysterious, so vague that you're going to hand them $300 for something. Even over at the school for the paid courses, those courses are $30. That's it. That's less than a book. And they're fully laid out, step-by-step path workings with fully videos, demos, everything in them. And you get lifetime access and lifetime updates. So all that stuff picks up pretty good. And I can't, like, I was told by someone they would easily pay $100 and $300 for like the Dragon Magic classes. Great. That's awesome to hear, but I'm not going to charge it because, again, I'm charging what I charge in order to fund what I do and keep the school open and those kinds of things. But as long as the economy will let me keep it in that affordable range, it will. If it ever goes up, it'll go to 40 or 50, and that's only because of that whole inflation bullshit. Um, but hopefully the economy comes down, so it won't be an issue. But yeah, a lot of it's more our perception and figuring out how to shift that perception. And that was one of the big things with the astral sanctum. That's why using the astral sanctum to help with arcane senses and other things is it's always been one of my favorite tools, because it just turns so many keys to get you going, and all those things snowball into a successful practice. So thank you for that. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Let's Drake having a season of rest goes like 1/2 hour later. Okay. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's funny because it's true. Yeah, actually, I did take like a week off from like filming and the live streams, and some of you emailed me to make sure I was okay when I skipped the live stream for the holidays. But yes, I was okay. I just took a week off to do some rest, and you know, Angela's got my number. Even though I was resting, I wasn't doing the live streams, I wasn't doing filming, I was still doing a lot of other things behind the back. I cannot sit still. I cannot. I have to be doing something. I was doing a lot of reading. I was doing a lot of research, and I was catching up on a lot of rituals. Uh, yeah, you're right. A season of rest is well. Okay, that's 30 minutes. I'm done. Let's get back to work. You got my number there, Angela. Oh Lord, that was good. See, where are we? Right there. Thanks for your answer. If you ever need something German related, please reach out. Love your channel. Hey, appreciate that. Um, I got on my planner to attempt to start practicing some German, and I might hit you up on that. I might take you up on that offer. I might appreciate it. By the way, um, you can speak with words, but they can feel your emotions to some extent. Okay, you're answering that one good. Okay. Hi, how are you? I am doing good. I really am. I'm having a great day. I have to say. Actually, I'm considering testing a new piece of camping gear I got tonight. Got a new ground mat. Wanting to try that out. Let's see. Vicky, any advice for overcoming doubt in our practice, and how do we know we are talking to an entity slash dragon, not just hypnotizing ourselves to hallucinate responses? Vicky, go check out my video on are entities real or subconscious? Make sure after stream to go check that out. That's going to answer in detail part of your question, because a good chunk of it is, does it matter? One of the things you'll notice about this channel is I am results oriented. And I'm also a guy who does not have faith. I don't have faith. In fact, I got into magic originally to disprove magic. So when it comes to overcoming doubt, track what you're doing, track all that stuff. Spend time with them. Are the entities real or not? I'll be honest. I started with they were part of our subconscious, and I later, due to the interactions and experiences I had, gravitated to the side of they are real. However, when you're looking at results of one's practice, I will also say, does it really matter? And I would personally say no. Because if you are doing a working, if you are doing a ritual and you are seeking help and you are seeking information and you're getting that information and you're getting the results to manifest that you are seeking to better your life, to better yourself, all those things, you're still getting the results. And the results speak for themselves. So when it comes to doubt in itself, what I do and what I tell my students to do is keep a journal, track it, see, track it over the long term, not just individual spells, but track it over the long term. I did this with prosperity magic. We well, we didn't have the money to live month to month, and I started using prosperity magic. And even though month to month I couldn't see the results, at the end of the year, however, I was able to see the line do this perfectly, and I was able to see all the opportunities, everything that opened up. Um, so that actually was able to show me the effects of it, and I continued to do it, and I continued to base my spell working on the results I was getting. And it probably took me a year or two before doubt of am I crazy started to drop away. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I follow the data, I follow the results, because there's some of this we can't prove. There's just no way to it. And that's just one of the things you have to accept. There's a lot of things that we do have to accept. There's the things we can follow, like the data. We can follow the manifestations. Um, some people can take things on faith. Great. That's amazing for the people who can do it. I actually envy them. I am incapable of doing the faith thing. That's why I focus on results. And I'll be honest with you, if you're here and you've been doing magic for 3 years following this channel and you've not seen a single result of any kind, my personal question would be, why are you still here? I don't know if I'm that entertaining if you're not getting results. But I know people, actually, Jade's one of them. They practiced magic for, I want to say it was 5 years ish. And they were ready to give up. They found this channel. They saw something that was far simpler than anything that they have been taught, and they applied it. And within a month, 3 months, she started seeing massive results in her life. Great. I'm glad she's seeing the results. But I'm not here as a guru. I'm just here as a guy who, hey, this is what I've done. It's worked for me. Apply it. See if you get results. When it comes to the spiritual side, are entities real? Are they not real? I'll be honest, I don't care. I'm not a religious person. I'm not a spiritual person. I don't give two shits about either of those concepts. Um, I respect the people who are religious. I respect people who are spiritual. Don't force it on me. For me, my magic, the reason I follow that nuts and bolts approach, and we talk about the science of magic, is because I don't do spiritualism. I don't do science. I follow results. And if I wasn't getting results, I wouldn't waste my time. I really wouldn't. So those are the things that I've done to overcome doubt. And as far as entities being real, like it took a long, many years of me working with entities, um, thinking they're subconscious, thinking they're constructs, thinking they're constructs of energy that are helping to interpret information or to help manifest other things, or even potentially self hypnosis. But it took a lot of experience with different entities before I came around to into their real. Have you seen those people who need to do something all the time take a vacation? I'm exhausted just looking at them. Um, I'm that person on vacation. Like I like to stay busy on vacation. I like to relax. Like I like to go camping and do stuff like that. But like my mom, I absolutely despise vacations because of my mom and my sisters. Because they were the person, like they would schedule a vacation and they would have an itinerary planned by 30-minute intervals. We got to do this, 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 go this, go this. My idea of a vacation is I'm going to do what I want, when I want, how I want. I am not following your schedule. If I have to work harder on vacation than I work at home, screw your vacation. Uh, that's exhausting. So yeah, when like I consider a vacation a day in the woods, maybe a week at the house where I get to do my own little projects. I don't sit and do nothing. I am still active, but I hate itineraries. I follow enough schedules when I'm working. I'm the same way, Drake. I can't just sit. Yeah, I got to be doing something. I want to work effectively with Archangel Michael. I'm a closet witch, so what are certain ways I can do this? Well, the easiest way is just prayer. Michael listens to prayer quite a bit. You can check out some of our videos on contacting entities if you want. Candle magic is a great way to work with Archangel Michael. Angels are quick to hear a person, so they're not really that difficult to work with. So, what is it you're looking to do when you work with them? Because ultimately, that's going to decide. Another option is you could check out our Astral Sanctum video because you could easily build an Astral Sanctum and work face to face with Archangel Michael there. And an Astral Sanctum is a great way to do stealth magic, stealth workings of any kind, because you can lay in your bed, you can sit in a chair, you can do meditations. Even like in a religious home, you can sit in a chair and you can do this right here. Anyone asks, I'm praying. You're just doing a silent prayer, and you can go to your Astral Sanctum and you can do all your workings. No one sees or hears anything. That would be the way I'd go about it. Let's see. Let's see. It matters to me kind of because I really want dragons to be real, since be pretty sad finding out my friends don't exist. Kind of don't even care about the results at that point. Not going to lie. Well, see, now you're working from an emotional standpoint, which is something I really don't do often. And I will say that the emotional tie did come as I shifted over to them being real. But you've got your dragon friends. You're doing your life. As long as you're living a functional life, I don't see an issue. But that's one of the areas. Me as a person, I fall short. I'm not a good person when it comes to dealing with those issues. I live life logically. I live life mentally. It's not to say I'm devoid of emotions. Y'all know that's not true. But I do take a very stoic approach to life, which is something we're going to be talking about in the video series that's coming up. But it is one of those things where when we talk about, if the results don't matter, it's more about the relationship I have with this entity. I get that. I understand that. As a teacher, I don't know how to deal with that. I really don't, because I'm also that person who, like, when it comes to spirituality or faith, I just don't really do well. And I've made no, falsehoods about the fact that there are areas I fall short, because I am a human being. We all are human beings. And for all the things I can do about breaking down the mechanics and the applications and the practicality, when it gets into there, not very good at it. It's the same way, like with emotions and relationships. I am all for and all in on relationships and emotions with friends and people I trust. At the same time, if someone was to come and say, "Why do I care about this person who's a SOB?" I don't know. Why are you asking me? I don't know. I take a very logical approach with relationships, even because if a person becomes a problem, becomes toxic, and they're not actually serving a useful function, whether it be a reliable, trustworthy friend and confidant or something, I will cut them out of my life. There's a lot of toxic people who thought they could keep just shoveling their bullshit, and they're gone. And I don't think about them. I take very logical approaches. And did it emotionally hurt to lose those people? Yes, it emotionally hurt, but I took the logical route. That's who I am. I apologize on that one, Vicky. I know usually I come through with better answers. This time ain't my cup of tea to be able to really get that one. I hope the answer I gave helps somewhat, though. Um, Karma Drake, can you recommend a entity or practice for decision making? Um, with decision making, I prefer to go with earth based or intellect based entities. So you're looking at earth and air usually. And the reason for that is um, logic and survival. Like earth deals with needs, actual needs of survival, well being, and life. Those are great things depending on the decision. Because if it's not a survival needs kind of decision, maybe not. But um, when you look at intellect based entities like Odin, for example, or even Freya, though the Norse don't have elemental traits per se, these are both entities that are known to be very, very intelligent and wise. Those are entities I would contact when making a decision and talk through what I'm thinking and listen to their counsel on. Um, if you work in dragon magic, the air ruler is a great one to talk to. If you work in dragon magic, hell, your guardian dragon would be a great person to talk to. Even you don't even have to work with another entity. You can just talk to your guardian. They can actually talk you through. Mm, I actually am having a trouble right now thinking of a real world human thing they would have trouble talking you through because they are far, far older than us, even though amongst dragons they're still young. Um, so I would take counsel with my guardian, my co-magician too. But as far as entities, honestly, Odin and Freya are probably my first go-to with decision-making things. Of the rulers, I like to talk with Zephyr. If it's an emotional thing, I'll talk with Cora Allegra. Um, but I'll also temper it with Zephyr's logic because, yeah, those would be the ones I'd go with. But my go-to personally in my personal life are Odin and Freya. Let's see. I remember you saying you don't like working with gods and goddesses, but why is that? No, I don't like working with the Egyptian gods and goddesses. And there's some gods and goddesses like I work with the Norse pantheon. That dragon magic in the Norse is my primary. I work with a lot of the Greeks. I'm not big on religion. Um, the Egyptian pantheon, like if you, there is a group of gods and goddesses that I will say I don't like working with. It would be the Egyptian pantheon. And that's because 80-90% of that pantheon is all about worship. I will not worship. I will not bend the knee. I will not bow. I will not worship. If they cannot work with me on equal and level terms, then I'm not going to waste my time, plain and simple. And every pantheon I've worked with has not had an issue with that except the Egyptian pantheon. Now, that being said, there are a few of the divine figures within the Egyptian pantheon that don't have an issue with that. Thoth is one of the ones that comes to mind. He doesn't give a shit about worship. So Thoth is probably the one I work with the most out of the Egyptian pantheon. Any other time I contact them, it's for a client, and it's business only, and then I'm out. Seriously. And if any of the entities I do currently work with, like, okay, now let's talk about worship. Yep, not going to do it. um, Whoa, we jumped. Oh crap, we jumped. Oh, we got 5 minutes left. Jay's gonna be throwing clocks at me soon. Do you think you could work with D&D entities in egregore magic if you wanted these to? Um, do I think that you could work with egregores of the D&D entities? Potentially, yes. I am a very hard separator of D&D and real magic. There's way too much bullshit overlapping, people trying to figure out how to the number of emails I get from people seriously wanting to learn how to cast Fireball because they think D&D magic is real makes me want to pound my head into a brick wall. So I'm a pretty hard separator. It's not something I've ever tinkered with or tried. But since egregores and thought forms can be created from information, that base of knowledge tells that there's a very high theory that yes, you could do that. And all right, GK, thank you for the super chat. Mugs up to you, mate. Letting go of hatred, anger towards someone, it is holding me back. They are dead, by the way. Would the bone breaking on the channel work? Any advice? Actually, yes. You could use the bone breaking ritual for this. I would also spend some time on you. What is it why are you holding on to this? Because being upset, being angry with someone live or dead serves us in no way at all. But it's also one of the hardest things to do at times, to let go. And this is ironically one of the things we will be talking about in the new series. But yes, the bone breaking ritual will work. What you want to do is you want to focus the bone that you're going to be breaking on that hatred that you hold. You want to pour all that hate, all that malice, all that anger that you are holding on to, that baggage, into that, and make that the target of the ritual. But you're also going to need to do some work on yourself, because the more you dwell on it, like even if you fully get rid of it with that ritual, if you mentally dwell on it, you can rebuild it. It's one of those catch 22s. So you need to make sure that not only do you do the ritual, but you also work on yourself, and you understand, really focus on it, and that isn't helping you, that this isn't serving a purpose. What angered you? Is there something you can learn from the situation? Because if there's something you can learn from it, fine, learn from it and be done with it. But just dwelling on it's not going to help you. And that's kind of the kicker. Because if you take all the time that you spend dwelling on this anger or whatever and apply it to something productive in your life, you'd be surprised how much progress you can make. But yeah, great question. Again, thank you for the super chat. Mugs up. Let's see. Makes sense. There were instances when curses and dark magic were more benevolent than healing and light magic. Can you make some examples or explain further? I'll try to handle this one real quick. I didn't say benevolent, I said malevolent. Where people would use healing or so-called light side magics to cause baneful harm. They used it for evil intents, such as healing a person just enough to keep them in a state of suffering instead of letting them pass on. That would be the first and one. That would be the prime. But there are many situations where those have been used to cause great harm and torment through so-called healing. Again, how you use it does make a difference. Let's see. All right, everyone, we're going to get ready to wrap up on that one. Hi there. I wish I had not missed. Something unexpected came up. No problem. You can watch the replay. And hope you had a good weekend. Hope whatever came up wasn't bad. 5 p.m. Sunday school. Hey, there you go. 5 p.m. Sunday school. That works. And there's my clocks. I knew those were coming. Thanks. I've tried for years to get rid of it. Kind of last resort, except for asking an entity to help. And again, an entity can only do so much, because if you dwell on it, it's a hard one. It really is. And like I said, take the time and examine it. Also, when we start this new series, make sure you're following it and doing those meditations. if it's still bothering you at the time we get around to stuff like that, since those will be live, if you can join us, just remind me, and I'll try to help you specifically with those meditations at that time too. But I think the bone breaking ritual and you just examining yourself and what you can learn from it that is beneficial and productive to you, and examining why this isn't productive to you and just casting it aside, I think that combination should help tremendously, mate. And good luck to you, because I know it's never easy. Pop Smoking Heathen, hey, good to see you. Sorry you had to pop in right at the end. Have a nice week. Yes, everyone, have a fantastic week. I'm going to hop off here. I got to get some more coffee and get into a meeting. You all have a wonderful evening, a wonderful week, and keep on doing what you're doing and try to be a better you tomorrow than you were today, and try to understand that we all trip, we all fall, we all make mistakes. It's about the getting up and continuing forward that matters. And until next time, everyone, take care. Good night.